Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Azukai here, bringing to you another video for Conqueror's Blade, published by Paris Interactive. This is the April 2nd update log, and let's get into it. So, APAC is going to have their maintenance April 2nd, 1400 to 1700 UTC plus 8, and EU/AMS is going to have the April 2nd, 0700 to 1000 UTC plus 1. Do mind, apparently I've been told that daylight saving is active, so do keep in mind the time frame for these things. The maintenance is expected to last 3 hours. After maintenance, we will distribute 8,000 bronze coins, 300 honor, 15 unit medals as compensation. So Doctrine Dash is going to be active. Obviously it's in the F5 Doctrine Dash event. It's probably actually called Doctrine Challenge. But anyway, completing the corresponding quests to obtain historical season Doctrine selection box. So stage 1 to 6, each giving historical season Doctrine selection box times 1. You can complete up to 30 challenges. Every 5 completed quests will unlock 1 stage reward. There are 20 basic quests in total during the premium account period. 10 additional challenge quests can be unlocked. So it says you can complete up to 30 quests, but that's only if you have the premium account. So you only got 20 basic quests, and if you got the premium account, you get 10 additional one. So you can get 4 if you're a free-to-play player, and if you got the premium account, you can get 6. Doctrine Dash quests cannot be completed using sovereigns. Event duration. They're not particularly hard, which is good. But you will have to play quite a bit. It's a little bit of a grind. So quest completion period is April 2nd after maintenance to April 16th before maintenance. So you only have 2 weeks to complete this. And the reward claim period goes from April 2nd after maintenance to April 19th, 1 minute before midnight. New doctrines have been added. Obviously, we had the Rose season last season, so we're going to have those units, unique doctrines going to come in, which is the Lancaster Billman, Rot Root Thorns. If damage is dealt to a bleeding unit, recovers 20% of maximum health. Not absolutely terrible. It's only for the first hit. In the in the brace state, obviously, it's only for the actual Thorn attack when you actually activate it. So it's not particularly good against units that will block this attack, but it's actually quite strong for the most parts. But relatively situational. Again, it just really depends if you actually hit something. They only have a hit limit of 2, so it's not particularly great. York's Household Knights, Sun Mirage, movement speed increases by 20% during Knight's Resolve. Honestly, they are super fast already. An extra 20% not going to make too much of a difference, but they do have like speed scaling bonus damage. So my goodness, do they get really ridiculous when things get to higher and higher levels of speed. Royal Longwind Belting Rain increases shooting speed by 12%. Rain of Agincourt reduces damage dealt by enemy cavalry by 15%. Honestly, the 12% increase shooting speed is probably the best part about this one. The less cavalry damage is like whatever at that point. But definitely do pick them up. You can. I mean, like, none of these are, I would say, vital for the units in order to work. Again, they just make the unit stronger at this point, so they're not game changing. At least there's definitely some that are game changing. I mean, the weakness one from the Lancaster Billman one is super game changing, but that's in their unit challenges anyway. Same with the Yorkist Knight. Really good if you want to go on foot. The other Yorkist Knight one, which gives you 2.5% health regen for the duration of your cover commander ability. I forget what it's called. Um, and it also gives you like an extra 15% damage resistance. For the longbowman, for the life of me, I've forgotten. But I think the epic one is pretty trash. If I don't think, if I don't remember, if I remember correctly. But if you combine this 12% extra with the 9% and the other 9%, you get like a 20% increase in fire in shooting speed, which can be pretty fast. Um, but then again, you look at the Arquebusiers and it's just like they literally just have a doctrine that just adds 22%. So it's just like anyway. Continuing on, we have Bloomfest is live. So what we got? During the event, participate in PvP matchmaking to obtain Earthly Petals Murad. The number of drops is linked to your battle performance. Brave warriors will receive generous rewards even in defeat, regardless of win or loss. Rank S 8 items, rank A 6 items, rank B 4 items. Field battlers win or loss. Rank S 5 items, rank A 3 items, and rank B 2 items. Consume Earthly Petal Murad. I don't even think I'm saying that right. In the Bloomfest menu to redeem rewards, as you spend items, your banquet progress will advance and unlock new redemptions. Spend 80 items to unlock stage 2. Spend 240 items to unlock stage 3. So you have to spend 240 inside stage 2, I think, or combination. I don't remember. We've had this event before. A total of 500 Earthly Petal Mirads are required to redeem all rewards. Items can be purchased using Sovereign. Limit is 500, obviously, for obvious reasons. If you obtain items through matches, the purchase limit will decrease accordingly. Unused items will be converted to bronze after the event ends. Returning hero items. The Snow Rabbit attire, Nameless Warrior. Returning unit attire, Rabbit Fortune Set. There's Marauders and the Black Jade. Um, I think the Nameless Warrior one's probably the one that I like the best. You got the graphics here. So you got the Nameless Warrior one, looks the best. I don't mind the Snow Rabbit one. It looks fine, except I can't get over the bunny ears. And of course, the relevant unit attire ones are not particularly great. Though I'm not really familiar with this one. I forget which event or thing came with this one. Hmm. Though I do remember that the Azure Marauder one came, I think it came with the Nameless Wanderer, but I could be wrong about that. Anyway, grab them if you want them. There's also Epic Hero Schematic Crate, Pure Wisdom, Epic Divine Crows, and Treatises. The event goes from April 2nd after maintenance to April 16th for maintenance. The event page will remain open until April 23rd, 1 minute before midnight. Samachian Stalwarts, the Vampire Limited Time Return. So, the Illusion Orb Map event is here. So, the Samachian Stalwarts Vampire is back for a limited time. The first opening is free. Subsequent opening requires mysterious treasure maps, with the cost increasing each time. The cost for 10 openings 0, 1, 3, 6, 10, 16, 20, 24, 30, and 40 items, respectively. If you draw the grand prize, all remaining rewards in the pool will be granted for free. Oh, okay, that's new. Didn't realize that happened. You are guaranteed to receive all rewards within 10 openings. Uh, view detailed rewards and probabilities in O activities. This is a fresh illusion map orb map event and does not inherit previous progress. Upon drawing the grand prize, you can choose between Samachian Stalwarts, Vampire, or Golden Key times 30. Event duration is April 2nd to April 16th after and before maintenance. So we are on to Season Echo Discount Weapon Attire Sales. Event details is during the event store purchasable. Weapon attires are 30% off. Grab your favorite skins now. This discount does not apply to Divine Reforged Bastard Sword. Yeah, I honestly have not seen anyone with a fully decked out sword, but then again, it's super rare. But who has like 3 grand to spend to fully max out this divine reforged thing? April 2nd after maintenance and April 30th before maintenance. Map rotation Fall of the Millennium is live. Gladiator Ring is closed and Get a Grip is now open. Map pool is by land and sea landing, by land and sea navigation, Reginopolis. Though I do prefer um I do prefer the old names. This is coming from the fact that I play the Conqueror's Blade Frontier version. Um what they were called back then, I'm pretty sure it was Golden Bay, Golden something Bay. Not sure if they were just both called Golden Bay. I know there's like Constantinopolis had like 3 versions. You had the pre-tunnel version, tunnel version, um, with AI soldiers, and then you have the live version, which is the last version we got. I forgot what the details for the tunnel version had. That was slightly different. Kind of forget. Um, Event duration goes from April 2nd after maintenance to April 8th, 1 minute before midnight. Wow, it only lasts for 1 week. That's really short. Um, I guess it wasn't that popular a mode. I like it. Um, by land and sea landing one, I think it's I think it's like a almost like a field battle type. I can't remember actually. I feel like there's another version because there was one where you push the boat, there was one where you take the tower, and then there was one where there was one where you take the tower, and then there was one, or maybe I'm confusing the two. Yeah, there was. Oh, I think there was a later map where it was 3 points around the tower or something. Because there used to be there's a map there's a version of there's a version of the map where one of the points was on the tower and then you had to attack the enemy base camp. Um, but then there was a different version of it where it had the point where the point is in front, as you can see in this graphics here, and it's not on the tower. That's probably the push the boat version, actually, yeah, which was the navigation one. And you'll have to push it way past. So yeah, probably just confusing. I'm just probably just confusing the two. So there probably isn't a third version. It's just the landing one where you take the base camp and the navigation one where you push the boat. Well, I mean, you don't push the boat. There's AI to push it for you. I'm just wondering whether or not they'll bring back the 3 stages of Reginopolis. It would be cool if they had the 3 versions. Not that they were balanced, but just for old time's sakes. Just don't have it for very long anyway. Combat weekend double benefit. It's free doctrine removal. During the event, removing doctrines will not consume Lotus Water. Double unit EXP. Battle to earn double base unit XP during the event. Event duration is April 4th. Uh, at midnight? Nah, God. Well, I mean, literally at the start, just after midnight or something. And April 6th, 1 minute before midnight. It would be April 4th, midnight. 0 hours, 0 hours. Oh, God. Anyway, I honestly think, I can't believe how often they're giving us the free doctrine removals. This is like, there's almost been like a doctrine removal like once every month in the last 3 months. I'm pretty sure there's been like 3 of these doctrine removal ones, which normally they never give us. They give us like one per season, but we've gotten like 3 of them in quick succession, which which is in quick succession, which is super surprising to me. Oh, did it mention that? Yeah, double uni XP for this weekend. So obviously you're home, you're probably home for Easter and stuff. So that'll be fun. God, I did read ahead of this, so there's a reason why I'm a little bit upset. But let's go over the system adjustments and optimization. So, new Berserker's Mastery. Node 1 increases slashing armor penetration by 80. Node 2 increases unit size by 1. Number Node 3 increases movement speed by 10%. Node 4 increases unit size by 1. So that's a total of 2 extra models on the unit. Now, Node 5, Giant's Grass, performs multi-stage attacks more frequently during Frenzy. Every single one of their... Oh, sorry, no. Actually, that's a lie. They actually have a headbutt attack, which is just a single. But they have, I think they have 4 variants, each one doing one extra one. So they have a single, a double, a triple, and a quadruple. So multi-stage attacks will probably just drop the headbutt down, which will be kind of um, kind of interesting to see how that affects the damage output. Um, honestly, it would almost be impossible to understand how the damage increase if we can't figure out the percentage frequency of the attacks in the first place. So um, this could be honestly super strong or just like almost negligible. But I guess that's to each their own. Node 6. Okay. Node 6 is actually a double-edged sword. Actually a double-edged sword. It's probably the one thing sorry. It's probably the one node that I would say would actually harm the unit, which increases frenzy duration by 1 second. It's honestly really funny how this could actually be a detriment. So to understand why I think it's a detriment is because of what Frenzy does. It gives them 50% damage, CC immunity, but it also increases their damage taken by 35%. Um, oh, and obviously, they lose control. They will attack and be locked in attack mode. You cannot control your unit during for the duration of Frenzy. That's super detrimental, and honestly, you don't want them to be in Frenzy for that long anyway. Frenzy is definitely a kind of burst of damage and healing to quickly melt the enemy and then to return back to their normal state. Their normal state is actually quite strong, unfortunately, because they don't have CCI normally in their skills. It's just really difficult. It's really difficult to get them to do much against units who just, frankly, there's just so much CC. It's just like uh, anything that doesn't have some kind of CC protection just ends up being worthless, and you just get stun locked out the ass. Anyway, the ones that can increase duration also makes it more difficult to get the heal. The healing part of Frenzy has always been the most OP part. Increasing the duration of Frenzy means that you lengthen the healing. You lengthen. You increase the I forget how to say it. Anyway, you increase the time between heals essentially. Um, it's a 4,500 heal. It's actually quite significant, and frenzy base duration I believe is 5 seconds. According to like their health now, I mean like their health just skyrocketed with the extra nodes and stuff. I mean I think my berserkers are sitting at like 24k, um, which is actually quite insane. But the 40 the 4500 ends up being something like almost 19%. I think it's 19%. Yeah. Um, and the important thing here is that 1 second could mean the difference between getting a burst heal or them dying. And it's it's not worth to keep the berserkers in frenzy because you end up being vulnerable for longer. But at the same time, I mean, like against certain things that just can't deal with berserkers because they have like no damage, they'll probably just get melted in and they just get melted in 2 seconds anyway. So, um, this node is detrimental essentially. I definitely do think that the developers have no idea what they're doing by adding this node with how berserkers are designed and how they perform. Funnily enough, I actually have been using berserkers a lot, and they can go absolutely crazy sometimes. Obviously, that's because berserkers are berserkers, and if you let them roam free for a while, you'll just end up you'll just end up killing a whole bunch of stuff and just like taking no and being at full health nearly the entire time. But you're a half-size unit that deals like a unit's yeah, you're a sorry, you're a quarter size unit that deals essentially a unit's worth of damage. Yeah, more like half a unit's worth of damage nowadays. Um, and so yeah, you just it's really upsetting that like I've been talking about this for so long. But balance is just completely out the window. Just gonna go out the window constantly. And I'm kind of upset that berserkers are getting masteries before our like our boys, the Fenrys. It's like seriously, like there's Fenrys that still haven't gotten their masteries. You got bagpipers that still haven't gotten their masteries. But you skip straight to berserkers for some reason, which are I would say are controversial units. I definitely do think that like people want berserkers to be strong, but I don't think anyone actually understands that berserkers are not allowed to be strong because of how they're designed. But at the same time, we have so many units which basically do the exact have the exact same problems as berserkers, but at least they don't go out of they at least are controllable during their strongest state. These guys do not. Anyway, enough rant. Let's just finish this. So you got the reflex. You got reduced damage taken from ranged unit by 400 for node 7, and this is probably the worst node I've ever seen created in Conqueror's Blade. It's node 8. Um, I can't even say that word. Increases damage dealt to the two following units by 500 and reduces damage taken from them by 600. Recovers 5% of max health upon attacking Royal Longwomen, Yorkist Household Knights, Lancaster Billmen, Vassal Longwomen, Chevaliers, Banagars, Alchemist, Demez Arbalist, Demez Crosswomen, Courtiers, Tenant Farmers, Queen's Knights, Galahad Spearmen, Bedivere Rangers. It is a it is a triple passive. It's there's three effects. They deal 500 increased damage. They take 600 less damage, and they recover 5% health upon attacking any of these units. That is insane. That's that is not simply just insane. It is so absolutely bonkers that you have just made every single one of these units essentially worthless against berserkers. You see berserkers and you have any one of these units, you can't do shit. You can't eat. Yeah, you literally can't do shit. Maybe, maybe you could get away with it with like the cavalry, but the archers, do mind, they take 400 less damage from archers, plus a 600. That's 1,000 less flat damage taken off your shit. And they recover 5% of their max health. 5% of 24,000. Well, how much is that? That's what? Um, that's 1,000. Am I doing that right? That's 1,200 health per attack. Per attack. So if they do multi-stage attacks and they do the quadruple one, that 20% of their health just boom, boom, boom. That's insane. Not to mention, like, you could probably use the combat doctrine. You could use the combat doctrine one, which has like an extra 15% heal in there. So God forbid you actually have a unit that can deal enough damage to kill these guys. Good luck, because the last time I checked, besides York's Household Knights, none of these other units are going to do shit to berserkers. Not with the reduced damage taken by 600. Um, maybe Galahad Spearman, but you would be damn lucky to be able to get a charge throw off. But yeah, your best bet, not even Benevere Rangers. Benevere Rangers only do like 3k max charge. Courtiers, they do damage. You could probably get away with it. Man, ah, we're just going, we're just going bad to worse. Balance adjustment. So, recent items for mastery and levels will be distributed via mail to warlords who logged in between December 19th, 100 hours, and the start of maintenance. Incendiary Archers, no, Mastery Node 5, Tongue, Oil, and Wildfire. Reduces special arrow base damage by 8%. Spreading burn damage goes from 400 to 350. I actually didn't think that the Incendiary Archers were that strong. Do mind that I finally actually looked, and the Mastery Node 5 is actually the one where it adds the 1 meter AoE for their burning. So sure, let's just say it's just like the burn damage was pretty OP because of just how much the spread was, but I mean, it doesn't deal that much damage to things that actually have fire resistance. Obviously, if you don't have fire resistance, you're going to uh, burn up like super fast, and of course the CC is just nuts. Iron Cap Archers, Mastery Node 5, Flaming Arrow, Explosive Arrow volley count goes from 4 to 3, Duration description goes from 4 to 3, uh, reduces explosive arrow base damage by 12%, Thank goodness. Holy cow. I don't even think that's enough. Iron Cap archers should just be reverted to their previous state, which was just literally just two. I don't know why. I don't know why they want to keep this explosive arrow um, in such a strong state, but let's see where this goes. Definitely the 4 was way too much. I definitely do think that 3 is still going to be way too much. The 12% less damage doesn't really matter because you got Whistling Arrow, but at the same time it could. But let's hope that this will be enough to get people to stop using Iron Cap Archers, even though I'm like literally abusing them like crazy. I just honestly, I honestly just don't understand why they buffed Iron Cap Archers. I think I complained about it the last time. I thought it was OP. And I still think Explosive Arrow is just completely OP because of just what they've designed it as. Because the initial hit is blockable. The explosion part works exactly like the Outriders and is unblockable, deals block break, and I don't know saying. I don't even think no. It doesn't even deal block break. It's just unblockable. It's just unblockable. Um, the explosion anyway, and you can block the actual explosive arrow shot, but the explosion, as small as it is, there's just so many of them that you instantly vaporize anything within a dense pile, and that could when I say dense pile, it only has to be as dense as a formation. Any of the tower shield formations would instantly get vaporized. You would have to be at least as spread out as something like the Halberdier's phalanx, and that's basically already dispersed at that point. That's already basically at dispersed. It's like you could literally fit another person in between the units essentially if you want to reduce the damage from the explosions, which is absolutely insane. Um, ICAP Arquebusiers, Mastery Note 8, Rushing Thunder, throw firecrackers base probability reduced by 25% after they increased it by 33%. Now they're reducing it to down 25%. Absolutely bloody. It's just, I just find it really funny sometimes. Just why? Why do you do this? Just, there you go. 1 multiplied by 1.33 multiplied by 0.75. Yeah, you're literally just sending it back down. Oh my god. They literally just reverted the Iron Cap Arquebusiers one. And the funny thing is that the Iron Cap Arquebusiers one is actually not even that strong in comparison to the Iron Cap Archer one. The Iron Cap Archer one is infinitely more versatile and stronger than the Iron Cap Arquebusiers one, mainly because of their range and arcing. But my goodness, the ammo consumption on Iron Cap Arquebusiers, absolute terrible. The increase in probability makes a single activation use up nearly all of your ammo. Nearly all of your ammo, which is hilarious. Um, as you can see, this is very nice graphics. So we've got Incendiary Archers, Iron Cap Archers, and Iron Cap Arquebusiers all being nerfed. Hooray! Thank you. I don't hate archers. I don't hate range in general. I think a lot of people hate range because they're range, but I totally understand why they're designed like this. I just don't like that they're designed like this. You create problems because you refuse to change the concept of these units. The main reason why ranged units have to deal such ridiculous damage is because they're useless otherwise, and it's because you refuse to do anything else with them. So you can only do one thing. They also have just straight up weaknesses, which every single one of these circumvent. And I mean that quite sincerely. And that is just block. Just a massive ass shield will block projectiles infinitely. There are ranged units that have block rate, but that's few. That's less. That's probably less than half of them, and most of the archers deal zero block rate. But anyway, the two patch notes for this season have been massively disappointing on the unit side. Makes no sense where they're going or what direction they're trying to go for. They're just doing updates, throwing things at us to see what sticks. If we like it, if we hate it, I hate everything so far. There are some things that I can like. There's definitely a lot more stuff that I hate. Weapon adjustment. Optimize the skill description for short sword and shield by adding the missing anti-cavalry effect. Actual effect remains unchanged. I love the anti-cavalry effect because it makes short sword feel like it does something, only when you're facing cavalry. Unfortunately, it feels like trash if you're facing anything else because you don't have you it feels like you're hitting like a wet noodle because there's no impact. It feels like you got no impact because all of your shit just causes the basic daze. However, you got damage. You got so much damage in short sword and shield. Um, it's actually quite terrifying how much damage. Uh, like a triple, like three rotations of my skills, and I'm pretty sure that there's no one surviving that. Some heavies can, obviously, but like, um, I've killed, I've killed basically everything with how strong short sword and shield is. And obviously, there's very few things that can beat me when I have Ironside up. It's kind of ridiculous with how short sword feels. But at the same time, there's still so much wrong with short sword that just it feels like an old class, and the hitboxes, the movement just feels really clunky. However, they did update the skills where you can rotate the camera and it will change the direction of the skill's execution, which is really nice. Honestly, it just makes it up to date with Bastard Sword and stuff. Just the distance you travel is too small for what it should be doing, for what it should be feeling like, especially when I'm trying to use Centurion Drill. The anti-cavalry effect on Centurion Drill is basically the only time where Centurion Drill actually feels like it's worth it. Every other scenario, not even worth it. I'm better off literally using basic attacks or just having another different ability entirely. Rune adjustment. We got no duchies. Something ward rune while in bloodbath state gain 400 shield value, gain 4 that was not 400 4,000 shield value, gain 4,000 shield value for 10 seconds whenever entering bloodbath state. Fix an issue where the short bow Sylvan Zephyr rune did not Sylvan Zephyr rune did not apply to the third normal attack. Fix an issue where the short bow's Sylvan Zephyr rune trigger abnormally for Wrath of Artemis and Chain Shot. Interesting. I don't remember what this rune does. Is this the? I thought it would just split the normal shots into three. I didn't realize it would affect Wrath of Artemis and Chain Shots. Unit adjustment. Fix an issue where Empire Chariot could be sent onto the city wall via ladders. That's interesting. I didn't realize that was a thing. Fixed a UI issue where the sprint icon remained highlighted after cooldown for ICAP bow riders, cautions, and Kev tool cavalry equipped with corresponding doctrines. Other adjustments and optimization. Daily login. Activating premium account will now track for each merchant gift chest claimed. Reaching specific milestones unlocks deluxe reward, including random legendary artillery chests and 40-day legendary exclusive frame. Fix a potential stuck spot for warlords at the defender's spawn point in Linwu Fortress. I don't know about that one. Optimize the visibility of premium account privilege doctrines by adding identification icons. Optimize the notification shown when premium account privilege doctrines expire. All right. I know I talked a long time, but unit balance to me, or balance in general, to me, is paramount when you are making sure the game is not only fun, but fair. The gameplay loop of the game makes no sense with how strong the units have become. There's definitely issues with the gameplay of each unit as they try to do the thing that they're meant to do, and it just doesn't work because you got this problem where you run into mechanics and balancing issues where it's just like your unit's too weak, or there's definitely units too strong. And it comes down to the fact that a lot of these mechanics are clashing or just being like circumvented in some way. They need to fix the block. They need to rework block in its entirety. It is impossible to have blocking units work when the majority of the meta units ignore what your block or instantly destroys your block. It's untenable for blocking units to be in that environment because your block is useless and or your block is detrimental. So you lose one of your best assets, and obviously against units that doesn't ignore, can't even destroy your block, you're invincible. You're absolutely bonkers strong. But that's not fair to them either. So they need to fix and rework block in its entirety. They haven't fixed Yorker's Knights from killing heroes because they still have this inbuilt true damage in their on their default unit, and also apparently most heroes count as melee. I don't know why we have melee tags on heroes, but apparently we do. So they end up with an extra 600 true damage against us, and that 60% less damage against heroes, not going to cut it at all. Doesn't cut it at all. You're going to explode. Even short swords, with all their armor, still get exploded by Yorkist. I mean, I get exploded. I have Ironside, and I tank, and I can't even tank Yorkist Household Knights. Should I be able to? I don't know. At this point, I think. At this point, I think. I think units should be deadly to the heroes. But at the same time, what is this balance? It makes no sense. I'm basically invincible to nearly 99% of the units except stalwarts because for some reason their praise momentum works completely differently from every other bloody unit. Oh, Dunwich Phalanx talking about brace units. The 20% minimum damage absolutely hurts. But I don't think that's the worst of it. I think the lowering of the movement speed threshold has it allowed to deal bonus damage to units that are walking. walking at Sunward's Phalanx no longer works. You're going to explode because you just get instantly just 2 times, like 4 times damage as you walk towards bloody phalanxes. That's ridiculous. Absolutely really ridiculous. At least, however, Varangian Guards didn't turn out to be like the Inquisitors like I thought it would be. It just turns out that they added block for their first attack after switching, which is okay. It's not terrible. It's still pretty strong, but they don't deal that much damage with their first attack. There's only 16 of them as well. Um, so it's so it's actually quite reasonable in terms of everything else anyway. Even when I say reasonable, there's still definitely like issues with Varangian Guards. They have like 2 sources of healing, or is it 3? It's just 2 sources of healing. Um, their shield mode is still trash. It's just designed to get rage, and obviously, I just hate the the design of it as well. You can't you can't forcibly switch back to shields. You can't forcibly switch back to shields, and you can't switch to axes when you want. And now switching to axes, you want to do it right on top of the enemy in order to get that extra block while attacking, which is a really good advantage. But enough complaining. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really am disheartened once more about everything that is. It's only the second week. Well, it's only been a week and a half, but this is the second update, and I'm going to be terrified at what berserkers are going to look like after this maintenance. If they go out of control, I'm not surprised. Again, on the PTR, we did get a buff to 12, but they reduced it to 9 when they pushed it to live. I believe it was the PTR that stopped them, the feedback from the PTR that stopped them from increasing the model count to 12, and I stand by the fact that Berserkers cannot or should not be increased to 12 units. Being 11 and we don't get any PTR testing, I am of the opinion that we're going to see Berserkers reaching almost viability. Almost viability. I'm only saying almost because just how ridiculous unit balance has become lately. But at the same time, I'm kind of underestimating the counter. There's still some units that are not included on that list that I think that we should be able to deal with berserkers fairly easily. The only problem is that like you could definitely set up your berserkers in such a way, but really you can't really. Berserkers still get exploded in 3. And to be honest, I mean, your best bet is just to use stalwarts at this point. As long as stalwarts is not on this list, you're probably fine. And that's really the dumb thing as well. Stalwarts is basically the ultimate unit in Conqueror's Blade. It's 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 leadership efficient in terms of his power. Each model is actually is actually quite strong. I wouldn't say like for a tier 4. It's actually quite strong, but like tier 4 wise, there are definitely units that model wise are way stronger. Berserkers obviously is one of them. But the size of Stalwart just makes them combat efficient. And obviously, they're a brace type unit. They have momentum damage. It's realistically the ultimate unit. It's scalable. It's scalable as well. They don't have any. They're a frontline unit. They're designed to be good from the front. It's when they get flanked, they get completely shafted though. But every unit gets completely shafted. It's just they can't adapt to it. Oh, they can if you're smart. I know I said I didn't want to rant too much, but here I am ranting because I just can't get over how dumb this is. How dumb the developers seem with changes that just want me to blow my brains out. Like seriously, this node is this node 8, just looking at it hurts my eyes. Just how ridiculous that is. It's like you had node it normally node 6 and 7 are like damage increases, flat damage increases or flat damage reductions against types. They do both in a single and add a heal on a hit to a subset of units, which are like English and French. So I'm surprised that they don't have Demez. I'm surprised that they didn't include Men at Arms, Spear Sergeants, Demez Arquebusiers, Demez Spearmen, Demez Javelineers as well. Mostly because you would cover basically all of the Western European units that way. I think. I mean, you could have just tagged every single Western unit at that point. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. But on that, my name's Atsuka. Have a nice day. Bye for now.